G'day guys, today we're going to talk about the T20 Tier 7 American medium tank, and I've fallen in love with this little thing. It's just amazing. It's such a good tank. It's obviously on the M4 line, which runs right up to the pattern. Best thing about it is the gun. The 90mm M3 gun, standard shells, around 280 damage with up to 200 millimeters of penetration. So it's fantastic. Rate of fire is right up there, nearly 9 rounds a minute. 4.1 second aim time, as well as a 302 meter view range. So you can have a look at a couple of games that I played in this thing, where I thought it really showed off the tank's ability. And so, you know, what you've got to do in these medium tanks is exploit the best parts about it. I mean, I think rockets around at a reasonable rate. It's obviously no light tank speed, and if you've been playing light tanks and you jump back into a medium, you can tend to sort of think that the tank's a bit slow. But for a medium, it can get around, and it has great climbing ability. It can get right up there. Obviously, its view range is a great asset too. 300 meters. That's up there with some of the longest view range that you can get in the whole game. So I actually really try and use that to its advantage. And the big thing that really comes into its own for this thing is its gun. You can see there, I just bounced a 545 shot, and that would have been straight off the turret. So the turret's got the ability to bounce, and you can see in this game already I've taken some damage. But the best part about a medium is you can relocate. You can actually get in the thing and go somewhere else. Meanwhile, the team's focusing on the tanks that are left there. They've sort of forgotten about me, and I can come around the back here and just put some damage now into the front of a louver. This thing can pen the front of a louver, which is a tier 8 tank. So I really do think what makes this tank the best, not the best, but one of the best mediums in tier 7 is its gun. You can just dish out truckloads of damage with the gun depression as well. It allows you to take these shots from cover. It allows you to do what I'm doing right now, which is just sit up there and sneak some shots in. Yeah, I copped a hit, but at the end of the day, that's part of the game. You're not going to do damage without taking damage. The idea of being successful is to actually do damage without taking as much damage as the other team, and therefore you win. So, you're never going to get into a situation where you can sit back and just pump out damage and never take damage. You've got to use the attributes of the tank to get the best out of it. And I always think that if you're focusing on what parts of the tank work best and use it in that fashion, you're going to get more success than not. And you can see here, it looks like I'm a camping noob sniper, but I have had my hit points reduced. I'm still contributing for the team, and at the end of the day, if I can be putting damage in on the opposition and helping my teammates actually get the result that we need, then and not dying myself, because if I'm dead, I can't put my gun to good use. Then I think we're doing the best as a team, and I think that's really what a lot of people miss with this game. Sometimes it is a team sport, and I do harp on about that a fair bit, and that's why players do get salty when you've got potential players who aren't doing the right thing, or they're just not being team players out there, and it's one of those situations. But the gun depression of this thing is really what I believe is its best attribute. The gun depression. Its mobility is good, but I don't think it's the best in the tier in terms of a medium. I mean, something like a T6 Dracula is going to be uncatchable, but that's not really what you're comparing it to. This is actually a real tank. It's not a fantasy tank. And look, we have a look on this map, which is, I believe, every time I see this map, I just feel gun depression. It's got so many little humps and hollows and things like that. There's a couple of really good tanks that do well here. I don't believe Soviet tanks go great here because of the fact that you've got so many verges, you've got so many brows, you've got so many bumps and scrapes and things like that that you can get the tank to use its gun effectively on. And you can see what we're doing here. The other thing is too, if you're playing supremacy matches, and if you've got supremacy turned off, don't ever consider doing a tournament, because tournaments are all supremacy. So if you're not getting in the rhythm of doing supremacy matches, don't even think about doing tournaments, because that's what they all are. So in my mind, our clan foil has just started doing some tournaments, and we want to always keep being sharp with relation to supremacy. And that's the thing with supremacy, it's about capping, but you don't just go straight to the cap and sit on it. You've got to clear the area, in my opinion, first. You don't want to be sitting on a cap like a lame duck and waiting for someone to pull out their 12 gauge and blow your head off. You've got to be sitting there when you know you can actually take that cap safely and not take damage. So what I like to do is go to the cap circle, scout around, make sure that nothing is there, and then I'll go straight to the cap and jump on it. I know it takes a little bit more time, but what it does is it conserves your hit points for later on in the match where you most likely will need it. The other thing you can do is by doing that, you can actually pick off one or two solo players who might be actually in the same boat, looking around, trying to see if that's the if that cap's free to go and take out. So supremacy, there's a bit of an art to it. It took me a long while to get my head around how to play supremacy, but in this environment here, you see we're sort of got the game in the balance. They've actually pushed right up. They've got two caps. We've only got one. And we've got a lot of very powerful tanks on their team. Like an IS is a very powerful gun. It's got a slow reload, but it's a very powerful gun. But you see what I'm doing here? I'm just using this tank's mobility to help my teammates. I'm not front line. I'm behind front line, if that makes sense. I'm trying to sneak up on the tanks while they're focusing on a teammate. And you can see he's trying to finish off the other guy over there who's gone really low points, and it allows me to come in behind him and just clean him up. And look at my hit point pool. I'm still full points at this point of the game. Now, some people might say, oh, you're a coward, you've run around, you haven't done it. No, I'm playing smart, and I'm playing smart in a medium tank with a bloody good gun and fantastic ability to get around and be maneuvering. So they've still got two caps. We've only got one. We've got the game in hand. We've just got to finish this last tank off and we're right. So I can fully go into here with confidence going, he ain't going to kill me. We ain't going to lose this match. We have got this one in the bag. And for this guy here, it's all over, Red Rover. He is in dire straits, and it's just a matter of who's going to get the kill shot in. Oh, it just happens to be me. How's there? There's 3 kills, and you can see in that match there, we absolutely killed it. And it was all to do with the tank. Again, about 1800 damage. At tier 7, you can't really ask for much more than that. 3 kills, and we did a great support for the rest of the team. Now, here's another one where a lot of people, in the old days, everyone used to go to the right here and just battle it out around this section here. And it kind of changed when they moved the cap circle, because the cap circle used to be in a different place. And so now it's sort of, can go both ways. So teams tend to split up. And what we've seen in this one here is we've run straight into T71, and luckily we had a bit of support. We're able to clear him out, but we've got 2 more guys over here now, but we're 3 on 2. So, oh no, we're now 3 on 3. So here's where you've got to start playing smart. You can't just rush in and take damage. And, you've got a Tiger P there. It's got armor from hell in the front. Fantastic tank, the Tiger P. And what we're doing is just trying to keep putting shots in without getting hit. Right, this is the key to the game, and it's certainly the key to it when you've got your back against the wall, and you are really outnumbered. You are in a position where they can, if they rushed over the top here and had a good brawl with us, we might have been in a lot of more trouble, because they actually had more tanks than us. But now what we can do is use this gun depression again to get in there and do what we have to do, which is just put damage in, clear tanks if we can, and obviously don't give them something to aim at. That's the reality. If you're giving people something to aim at, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And just look at this. Tiger, he's over here, he's on his own. I don't know what he was trying to do, but you get them at this level quite a fair bit, and I can just reload, sneak out, pop a shot in him. I know he can't shoot me, and you know, we can sneak down the back here and actually put the final kill shot in, and get rid of him and clear him out, and that's the end of the game. So that's 3 games in the T20. You can see why I love the tank. Don't get me wrong, you can be murdered in it, but 62, 63 plus win rate in this tank, and absolutely adore it. I love the American lines. I'm going to do one on the Pershing next, and the T62, because I'm playing all those at the moment and I'm having a heap of fun. So enjoy the American lines. Hope you enjoyed the vid, and please subscribe to the channel. See you guys. Bye.